The night was thick with anticipation as our squad huddled together in the desolate outpost. The faint glow of moonlight barely illuminated our faces, while shadows danced in the corners of our weary eyes. We were a group of battle-hardened soldiers, stationed in an isolated region deep within enemy territory. Little did we know that this would be a night etched in our nightmares forever. As we sat around the flickering campfire, the tension hung heavy in the air. The eerie silence was broken only by the distant sounds of gunfire, a constant reminder of the perilous situation we found ourselves in. Our mission was to gather intel on enemy movements, but something far more sinister awaited us that night. Our squad leader, Captain Reynolds, cleared his throat, his voice tinged with gravity. "Listen up, everyone," he began, his eyes scanning the faces of his men. "We've received reports of strange occurrences in this area. Unexplained disappearances, eerie sightings, and rumors of a supernatural presence." Whispers of disbelief echoed among us, skepticism mixed with curiosity. We were soldiers, trained to face physical threats, not supernatural ones. But deep down, a primal fear lingered, as if we knew that this mission was unlike any other. Captain Reynolds continued, his voice steady. "We can't ignore these reports. Our objective remains the same: gather intel and return safely. But stay vigilant. Trust your instincts. We've faced enemy fire before, but tonight we may encounter something far more insidious." His words resonated with us, and a newfound determination filled our hearts. We armed ourselves, our weapons gleaming in the moonlight, and ventured into the treacherous night. As we moved through the dense forest, the stillness was eerie. The air felt heavy, as if we were intruding upon an ancient burial ground. The sound of our own footsteps seemed to reverberate, swallowed by the oppressive silence. In the distance, we saw flickering lights, a derelict military outpost long abandoned. We cautiously approached, our senses heightened. The rusted gates creaked open, welcoming us to a place frozen in time. Inside, the remnants of the past lay scattered, a rusted tank, overturned sandbags, and cracked helmets. The atmosphere was suffocating, the weight of history bearing down on us. Suddenly, a low, guttural growl reverberated through the outpost. We froze, our hearts pounding in our chests. The growl grew louder, more menacing, accompanied by a chilling howl that sent shivers down our spines. Out of the shadows emerged a hulking figure, a soldier, or what once was a soldier. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, its skin pallid and decayed. The creature lunged at us, its inhuman speed and strength catching us off guard. Panic consumed us as we fought for our lives. Our bullets seemed futile, passing through the creature as if it were a specter. We were facing an enemy that defied the laws of nature, a supernatural force that sought to extinguish our lives. We fought with every ounce of strength, desperation fueling our movements. Men fell, their screams lost in the chaos. The creature seemed invincible, its hunger for destruction insatiable. But then Captain Reynolds rallied us. "We need to find its weakness," he shouted above the din. "There must be something that can stop it." Together we searched the outpost, our minds racing against time. And then we found it. A journal, left behind by a survivor who had encountered the creature before. The pages contained a harrowing account of its origin, a failed experiment gone horribly wrong. Armed with this knowledge, we devised a plan. We lured the creature into a confined space, trapping it within the remnants of a bombed-out building. We doused the area with flammable liquid and set it ablaze, watching as the flames consumed the monstrosity. As the fire engulfed the outpost, we retreated, our mission complete. We had faced not only the horrors of war, but the horrors that lurked in the supernatural realm. We were forever changed, our souls scarred by the darkness we had encountered. Years have passed since that night, but the memory remains etched in our minds. We are the few who know the truth, the ones who have faced the unexplainable. And though we may never fully understand what we encountered, we continue to fight, to protect those who remain ignorant of the terrors that lurk in the shadows. I gripped my rifle tightly, the weight of it familiar and comforting in my hands. We had been deployed to a remote military outpost deep in the mountains, a place rumored to be haunted by the ghosts of fallen soldiers. The stories had been dismissed as mere superstition. But as we huddled together in the cold night, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Our squad had been tasked with securing the outpost and gathering vital intelligence. We were well-trained, disciplined soldiers, but this mission felt different. It was as if the very air around us held a malevolent presence, whispering dark secrets and casting doubt on our purpose. As the sun dipped below the horizon, darkness enveloped the outpost. The eerie glow of the moon provided little comfort as shadows danced menacingly around us. We set up defensive positions, our nerves on edge. Suddenly, a chilling wind swept through the outpost, extinguishing our flickering lanterns. The temperature dropped and a bone-chilling silence settled over us. We exchanged nervous glances, each soldier searching for reassurance in the eyes of his comrades. The crackling of leaves and twigs echoed in the distance, approaching with an unnerving rhythm. We tensed, our fingers tightening around the triggers of our weapons. Footsteps echoed through the night, growing louder and more distinct with each passing moment. Then out of the darkness emerged a figure, clad in tattered military garb. It moved with an otherworldly grace gliding across the uneven terrain. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural light, devoid of life and filled with a haunting sorrow. I held my breath as the figure drew nearer, the weight of its presence suffocating. The ghostly soldier passed through our defensive line, its ethereal form untouched by our bullets. Fear gripped me, knowing that we were facing an enemy beyond the realm of the living. The apparition continued its silent march, disappearing into the night. We were left speechless, the reality of our situation sinking in. The rumors of haunted spirits were true, and we were trapped in a nightmarish battle against the supernatural. Days turned into nights, and our outpost became a battleground between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. The ghostly soldiers attacked with a vengeance, their translucent forms phasing through walls and barriers. They fought with a skill and precision that defied human limitations, their movements a dance of death. We fought back with all our might, but our efforts seemed futile. Our bullets passed through the specters, their translucent forms reforming moments later. We were trapped in a never-ending cycle of warfare, our spirits wearing thin as we faced an enemy we could not defeat. One fateful night, as the moon hung full and ominous in the sky, a plan began to take shape. We realized that the ghosts were tethered to the outpost, their souls unable to find rest. If we could sever that connection, we might stand a chance. With a renewed determination, we gathered what explosives we had left and devised a plan to destroy the outpost. We planted charges at strategic points, hoping to collapse the structure and release the spirits trapped within. As the explosions reverberated through the night, chaos ensued. The outpost crumbled, dust and debris swirling in the air. The ghosts wailed in agony, their ethereal forms dissipating into nothingness. We fought our way through the chaos, our bodies battered and broken. Finally, we emerged from the rubble, gasping for breath. The outpost lay in ruins, its haunted history buried beneath the debris. We were victorious, but the toll it had taken on us was immeasurable. We returned home, scarred physically and mentally. The horrors we had witnessed haunted our dreams, the specters of fallen soldiers forever etched in our memories. We carried their burden, knowing that we had faced a horror that most could never comprehend. Years have passed since that fateful mission, but the memories remain vivid. The supernatural encounter had changed us, leaving an indelible mark on our souls. We are no longer the soldiers we once were, for we have seen the darkness that lurks beyond the mortal realm. We stand as a testament to the horrors that can emerge in the midst of war. The battlefields we fought on were not only plagued by the weapons of man, but by forces far more insidious. And though we may never fully understand the nature of the supernatural forces we encountered, we carry the weight of that experience, forever changed by the chilling specters of that haunted outpost. The desert night stretched out before me, an expanse of darkness punctuated by the shimmering stars above. I stood on the outskirts of a military base in a remote region, my fellow soldiers gathered around me. We were part of a top-secret operation, tasked with investigating a series of unexplained phenomena that had plagued the area. Little did we know our mission would take us to the depths of terror. Our orders were simple: gather intelligence on the strange occurrences, document any unusual findings, and report back. The night air was dry, and a sense of unease settled in my gut as we ventured deeper into the unknown. As we traversed the barren landscape, a foreboding silence engulfed us. The sound of our boots crunching against the sand seemed to echo, reverberating through the desolation. We felt as if we were trespassing upon sacred ground, disturbing a hidden presence that watched us from the shadows. A gust of wind whispered through the dunes, carrying with it an otherworldly chill. We pressed on, our senses heightened as we approached a dilapidated structure, a long-abandoned military outpost. It stood as a relic of a forgotten era, a haunting reminder of battles past. As we cautiously entered the crumbling outpost, A shiver ran down my spine. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and dust particles danced in the dim light. Graffiti covered the walls, etched with the words of those who had come before us, their messages a testament to the eerie atmosphere that permeated the place. We split into teams, each exploring a different section of the outpost. My group ventured into the barracks, the remnants of old cots and discarded equipment strewn about. It was then that we heard it, a faint whisper carried on the wind. Goosebumps prickled my skin as the whispering grew louder, the words indecipherable yet filled with an unmistakable malice. Our radios crackled to life, the sudden sound jolting us from our state of unease. It was another team, their voices trembling with fear as they reported a sighting. A shadowy figure moving through the corridors, its presence cold and foreboding. We exchanged glances, the reality of the situation sinking in. Driven by both duty and trepidation, we pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. Each step we took seemed to echo through the empty hallways, as if alerting something unseen to our presence. The air grew thick with tension, the weight of the unknown bearing down upon us. In a forgotten storage room, we discovered a cache of old documents, a diary chronicling the experiences of a soldier stationed at the outpost. As I leafed through its pages, the horrors unveiled themselves. The soldier spoke of an experiment gone awry, an attempt to tap into an ancient power that should have remained dormant. The whispers grew louder, echoing through the corridors, drawing us deeper into the labyrinth of fear. Shadows danced on the walls, twisting and contorting in grotesque shapes. A sense of being watched intensified, the weight of unseen eyes bearing down upon us. Suddenly, the darkness seemed to come alive, a swirling vortex of blackness manifesting before our eyes. It pulsed with an otherworldly energy, drawing us closer like moths to a flame. Our rationality waned as the pull became irresistible, our bodies moving on their own accord. We were engulfed by the darkness, our senses overwhelmed by a cacophony of tortured screams and guttural growls. Time became distorted, minutes stretching into an eternity of horror. We fought against the forces that sought to consume us, our weapons useless against the ethereal threat. As quickly as it had enveloped us, the darkness receded, leaving us battered and disoriented. We emerged from the outpost, our minds filled with a lingering sense of dread. The mission had taken a sinister turn, and the true nature of the unexplained phenomena had been unveiled. We reported back to our superiors, but the true extent of the horrors we had encountered remained unspoken. The military base was swiftly abandoned, its dark secrets buried beneath the sands of time. Years have passed since that fateful mission, but the memories continue to haunt my dreams. The whispers still echo in the recesses of my mind, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurks beyond the boundaries of our understanding. The military may have moved on, but the outpost remains, a desolate testament to the horrors we faced. Its walls whisper secrets that can never be fully silenced, a reminder that some mysteries should never be unraveled. And as I stand on the edge of the desert, I am reminded of the depths of terror that lie hidden within the sands, waiting to ensnare those who dare to venture too far into the darkness.